welcome to New Pioneer Presents. I'm Teresa Carberry, Education Director at New Pioneer, and today New Pioneer presents Color Eggs Naturally. My guest today is Jan McDonald. She's the Department Manager at the New Pioneer store for supplements, herbs, and health and beauty. Welcome, Jan.
Hello, Teresa.
So we were looking at for a natural way to color eggs. Everyone loves to color eggs. The children get a big kick out of hunting for them, and the egg is an ancient symbol of fertility. So it's only natural to celebrate with eggs. It even predates Christianity. Jan, what have we got for natural materials? If you wanted to get away from the artificial pills, what natural materials have you worked with?
Well, there are several colors that can be produced naturally. To start, we're going to begin with a nice yellow that we obtained by using powdered turmeric, which is available in the bulk herb section at the co-op. And it's a nice, rich yellow powder. And you just need 1 or 2 teaspoons per cup of water, and that'll do a couple of eggs.
And it's quite stainy.
Yeah, this is one of the quickest acting. We're also going to use grated cabbage, which produces a nice light blue if you let it go overnight. And with the use of alum, you can get a rich aqua.
And that's the red cabbage.
Right, this is red cabbage, and you just chop up the outer leaves. We're also going to be using yellow onion skins, which are a little bit golder and richer than the turmeric. The yellow onion skins produce this sort of a color that's a very nice, rich gold yellow. And red onion skins produced a surprising mottled green. The red onion skins, this is probably, I recommend using a handful per cup of water. And I was surprised with the result of the green color. I expected a maroon. And if you let it, the one that we let go overnight was a lot richer green. We also can get a nice blue-purple from grape juice. Beet powder also produced a nice, natural, pale maroon.
So where do you get the beet powder?
Well, there's an organic beet powder available in the bulk herb section, and there's also fresh beets, which I actually use some of each. The fresh beets from the produce department, and these were with the fresh beets, and these were done with beet powder.
I see, very fine red.
The beet powder did produce a little bit darker color.
So show me what else we've got in this one.
I also did some experimentation that I was a little disappointed with comfrey leaf for a green. It was a very pale green. I prefer using chlorophyll for a green. Also, the combination of beet juice and red cabbage produced my favorite, which is a very rich blue. And the red cabbage is the only one that we needed to use the mordant alum with. All of the others achieved these nice colors by using a teaspoon of vinegar per cup of dye material or cup of water. This was very simple to do, and it's a lot nicer alternative to the unnatural colors that
screaming pink and screaming.
That aren't really recommended by some people as edible. A lot of people discard the eggs that are done with the artificial colors. And I haven't tasted any of these yet, but I'm sure they're fine.
So you've hard cooked your eggs. And we have some boiling water going. So what's our next step?
Well, the next step is just to add boiling water to the dye material. And we've got some water going. I prefer to fill the cup of water first and then to add the egg to it. You want to fill the cups about 2/3 full. We'll do a couple batches of each one here. And then just simply add an already hard-boiled egg to it that you've cooled. I let them cool for about 15 minutes or so. And first we need to add approximately a teaspoon of vinegar per cup. And the vinegar is important because it helps set the dye.
It opens up the shell?
I think that's what it does.
Acid working on that shell probably helps remove like your little greasy fingerprint.
Right. And it makes the color stay. This also is true with when you're dyeing cotton or clothing. You generally, for the color to stay, you need to add a mordant. And then you just simply drop an egg in. And the longer that you let the egg steep in the material, the richer the color that you're going to have. Most of the eggs that were done in the first sides here were done in a matter of a half an hour or so let steep. These others in the second row, I let steep overnight. And you can see that there's a lot stronger color when you let it stay longer. There we go. Would you like to grate some of the fresh beet, and we can see how that compares to the beet powder?
Okay.
I'll get some of the red cabbage going. One other fun thing to do, even while you're coloring the eggs, if you have some white t-shirts or paper around, I had fun last night painting with the natural dye material and produced this shirt from the colors. I just dipped a paintbrush into the dye pots and painted on the cotton while I was waiting for the eggs to turn color. It was a lot of fun. The two colors that we didn't need to add boiling water to, the grape juice, of course, is already, because it's a constituted grape juice, or from a concentrate, there's no need to add any water to it. That would actually dilute it.
You'd use the concentrate itself without dilution. Huh.
Right. And same with liquid chlorophyll, which is how we achieve this green. But the red onion skins were actually a cheaper source of the green. So if you were wanting to save a little expense, I would avoid the chlorophyll altogether and just use the red onion skins for green.
The yellow of the turmeric combined with the red cabbage, sort of the primary colors, will give you a good green too.
Yeah, speckled green. I didn't have much success in combining turmeric with red cabbage. This is the color that I achieved, which is a very, very pale green. But it is a nice subtle one.
Where would you like this beet?
How about in to add to this cup right here? And let's go ahead and add vinegar to all of our containers. I'm just guessing. It's pretty easy to approximate a teaspoon, and I figure if there's a little extra, it will just have a little bit stronger color.
Okay, now this one here looks like it could use a stir.
Yeah, let's stir some of these up and drop some eggs in.
Okay, so tell me as we go now, we have turmeric.
Yeah, this is the
and red
turmeric
cabbage.
going. This is red cabbage. It looks like I've got a little extra water here. And you're going to want to have a tablecloth down or some newspapers or something that you don't mind getting some stains on. I'm fortunate enough to have a ping pong table and had the whole thing covered with dyes this morning, but it was
Yeah, this can be messy, so.
yeah, but it's a lot of fun.
Wow, the beet powder has almost come out thick.
Yep. I liked what I achieved by leaving the beet powder onto the eggs. I like the effect that the powder clumping has. If you rinse them, you'd get a lot mellower of a color, and I actually I like both in comparison or in contrast to each other. I did have fun playing with some of the colors when I rinsed them. I kind of swirled my fingers around on this blue, which was achieved by the combination of beet juice and grated, no, this was just beet juice. No, this is beet juice and grated cabbage. I'm sorry. It's a little confusing with all these colors. But I achieved some of this marbling just by swirling my fingers around while I was rinsing it off under the sink.
Yeah, if you don't prefer the sort of dusty presence of the actual dye material, you can just wipe it off.
Definitely.
It's very interesting. I mean, of course, a natural bird's egg is mottled, and to have the irregularities is pleasing, and you can have them, as you say, both ways. So tell me, Jen, what does a person do with beet powder if you're not dyeing eggs? What do people do with this material generally?
A lot of people use it as just a dried vegetable source. They'll add it to their broth powders or soups or smoothies, I think, are one of the most common ways to do it. I really like fresh carrot juice with a little beet powder added to it.
It's a nutritional sort of supplement, a natural.
Right.
I see. And there are some people who like beet because it offers toning properties for the urinary tract.
I didn't realize that.
It certainly looks like soup.
And let's do some chlorophyll there.
All right.
A lot of people seem to have their different favorites. I really am attracted to the blues that were achieved by red cabbage overnight and the combination of beet and red cabbage.
Okay, so taking a look at some of course, the children all want this to happen very quickly. And sometimes the more natural is not as instant. But for example, here this is in the beets that I was just grating. You can see both the presence of the beet material, and also you can see this egg is coming up with a nice subtle pink. So the longer it stays in there, why the darker the pink will be. What have you got down? How's the turmeric looking? Show us how the turmeric is coming.
The turmeric is coming along. Ooh, this is hot. This is only in a matter of 5 minutes. We have a nice color that's pretty comparable to the color that was achieved overnight. It is, I think, definitely the quickest acting. And I just now remembered to add the alum to the red cabbage. The red cabbage by itself with vinegar does not produce as intensive a color as if you add the alum. But alum is that's the only one we needed to add the alum to. And this is going to be dying slowly, but already at this point we have a nice pale blue.
That's very pretty. So some like it more subtle and some like it more distinct. And you of course have them both.
Right. And you'd want this to go for a minimum of about 20 minutes to achieve a good amount of color.
Here's a fun one to look at. This is the grape juice. You can see that the grape juice is working pretty well. It has sort of a red-blue, almost coming onto a purple tone. So you can rotate the egg if you want it to be uniform in its dyeing.
I achieved a strange effect on one of these, sort of by not rotating it often enough. It had a nice circle of blue.
Like a stripe.
Yeah, almost like an eye. And this was a strange combination of one that had been in a red onion skin for quite a while, and then I added it to the already lukewarm dye bath of red cabbage and achieved this sort of blue-green. And it's got a nice sort of sparkliness to it.
The actual material is on the surface. Well, one of the challenges, of course, is to remember to purchase your eggs sufficiently in advance that they have time to, the eggs age just a little bit, so then when it comes time to eat them, you can turn them out of their shell. So that's the challenge. And of course, everyone wants the white eggs. So the tip for your serious egg preparation is to get your eggs bought the week before and let them sit in the fridge, and then you'll have them. Have you ever been in, you're looking for eggs and all the white eggs are gone?
Definitely. I took the last 4 dozen yesterday, but we had more in this morning.
And now you, like everyone else, have the challenge of how to serve hard-cooked eggs in a dozen different ways.
Definitely.
Well, eggs are good food. And this will work with dark eggs, just different effects, really.
Yeah, I wish I would have gotten some brown ones just to see the variation, because I'm sure some of these colors would be even richer on top of brown.
Wow, I'm excited about this beet. I'm going to take it out and try and get a look at it.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, so the beet powder. Now, let's see if I can do this without making a total mess. But for example, in this case, let's see, maybe I should rinse it in the shredded beet. What do you think? That might get.
Or you could just set it on there. And
let's see here. Oh, I can't get away with that. Let's see how this would be. So here we can see that this was the beet powder is coming on really quite strong.
Let's compare that to the grated beet and see which is richer today.
So that would be a case of wiping off the dye material if you didn't like the particulate matter on there. Then here we have the grated beet. It's a little more delicate, more pink.
Yeah.
Both nice. Maybe the grated beet is less concentrated, so it's a little slower acting. Well, that's almost there, don't you think?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
One of the most fun things about doing the Easter eggs is then collecting baskets or different ways to display them. And there's a fine selection of baskets available at the CoOp. Some of my favorites are the baskets that are mimicking an actual bird's nest. And especially with the natural colored Easter eggs, I think that they closely resemble some bird eggs that I've seen in the past. And it's a pleasure to assemble them in a nice basket.
This one has good speckling. One we just took out of the beet, so that it has little like white.
That's great. Is that sort of, I think I've actually seen a bird egg similar to that.
Yeah. Let's take a look how our onions are doing. Are they making any progress? The onions are a little slower, I think, aren't they?
They are definitely slow. This almost looks like a natural colored brown egg.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a yellow onion skin. And let's see how the red...
Apricot.
You know what? I forgot to put an egg in the red. There we
Is that
go.
a spare spoon?
Sure.
Thanks. I want to take a look at this. So you're using chlorophyll. Now, is this chlorophyll available in the supplement department?
Yes, it's in the supplement department amongst some of the internal cleansers and...
So chlorophyll is basically the green material in all plants. So you don't
Right.
like your spinach, or you might add chlorophyll liquid to a drink or a broth, or
Or some people just add it to water and take it on a daily basis as a form of internal purification. Another way that you could try getting a green is with spinach leaves, but I didn't have any spinach on hand last night.
it might take a lot of spinach.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got the red onion in. So do we still have some boiling water?
I think there is a little bit left. We've actually got the water in the red onion, though.
Okay.
Another nice way to display them is with some of the stuffed animals that either you have from your past. Are these all yours, Teresa?
Well, actually, they're my children's.
They're very nice.
I think my mother did away with all mine, and now I'm in the same situation here, trying to figure out what to do with my children's.
I also had some fun this morning making natural colored snow cones. I had these cups of dye that I didn't want to waste, and I started to toss some outside, and it made such a nice design in the snow that we started adding snowballs to them.
Just for visual effect
Just for
only?
visual. We could have added maple syrup and tried them as snow cones. I was tempted. But I think that's another way, at least if there's going to be snow on Easter, to enjoy it.
Well, hopefully there won't be. Let's see. So I was. Do we have? So do we use our hot water? I think we have 1 cup left.
We might. Let's see.
Let's see. Go ahead and. I was.
Oh, I'm
dreaming of
sorry. We don't.
Okay.
But we've got some water that's not being used that's still hot. There's some in here. I want to do a combination of yellow onion skin and grated
right.
beet. See what we get there. That should produce a nice orange.
All right.
And another thing that you can do, I experimented last night with, I didn't have any crayons, but I took one of my chapsticks and drew a line around an egg, and I got a fine, sort of an example of a batik, where the wax from the chap lip stick actually created a resist, and the dye didn't go as heavily there. You could do that with crayons, or you could, I also was somewhat unsuccessful in wrapping leaf material around an egg and tying it with material, but I don't know whether I didn't secure the wrapping around enough.
Rubber band around it or something?
I should have probably tried a rubber band, but I just tied cloth around it. But I put some of these frilly leaves
I see.
and then wrapped that in onion skin and cloth around that, but I wouldn't call that successful, really. But it is a nice blotchy effect.
Well, I'm experimenting. Pass me over that cabbage here. We got so the.
Here's some already grated
When you
cabbage.
think about, oh, good. So if you were going to have try and abbreviate, if you feel you have, this is so many, then you could think of the primary colors: yellow, blue, and red. So that when you join blue and yellow, you get green. When you join red and blue, you get purple. And when you join yellow and red, you get orange. So with really just 3 materials, you can achieve a wide range if you put, so in this case, a pinch of beet and a pinch of the cabbage. And let's see, so we should have a little alum because we've got the cabbage.
There you go.
And we don't want to have.
There's actually a little yellow onion skin
Then there's
in
the
there,
yellow.
too.
Now we'll see how that hacks. So we're going to.
I think that'll be a nice
How much
orange.
alum are we recommending? A half a teaspoon. I think that was a half teaspoon. Yeah, there. Okay. So we got our alum, and so this hopefully will be coming out purple with a little yellow influence. We'll throw an egg in. You got an egg? We'll throw in there.
There you go. Yeah, if you wanted to narrow it down to 3 colors, I would recommend a little bit of turmeric, which you can get a sufficient amount to do a few eggs for under $1. I would go for the red from the beet powder, which I was most pleased with, and blue, I think the fresh red cabbage is necessary, and that should get you quite a versatile palette
This is
if
a
you
great-
combine them all.
Don't you think this is a great blue?
Mm-hmm. And that
so-
was from chopped red cabbage left overnight.
Uh-huh. Good. All right, so see how our onion skins are coming.
Okay. This red onion skin is, again, very dull, and it's what produced
Kind of just
this kind of a
warm
greenish.
peach.
And the yellow onion skin we could put back in for a while, but this is pretty nice
Yeah,
after
it
just
is.
5 or
Sort of
10
apricot-y.
minutes.
The grape is very attractive. The grape's coming along well. So here we can see how the grape
Oh,
is
that's
feeling pretty dark.
Very
And it's
nice.
Ready to go into speckling. We can even start another. So we do another?
Sure.
Oop. Of course, this is one where it will pick up irregularities from handling.
There you go.
It smells good too. So this is actually the concentrate in this cup.
Right, just straight from the concentrate container.
And that's good. Okay, so let's check. We got the turmeric, the cabbage, the onion.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this turmeric is
grape.
nice.
Okay. And here, oh boy, this is coming along great. Check out this natural beet.
Very nice.
Okay, so the coloring of eggs is an ancient tradition, and we'll be featuring it in the newsletter as well as in the store. So we'll have these available, some baskets with naturally dyed eggs in the store.
Yeah, for display, and anyone in the Health and Beauty Aid department or herb department can help you select some colors and take you over to produce to help you pick out vegetables to experiment with. It's a great way to celebrate the rite of spring.
And we'll have flyers too. So.
Definitely.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to check this one here. This is our chlorophyll egg. Whoa, it's coming along. Let's see if I can show the camera. So here's our green. Once again, the chlorophyll gives it a speckledy texture. Very pretty.
Yep, I like that.
Very realistic. So we give it a little more, do you think? A little more time?
Sure. It doesn't look like we got much more by letting it sit overnight, but
Oh, I'm kind of tempted to see if I can make it land and hold its position. I want to have those speckles stay in that. Ah, there. Except my fingertips are pink.
that's a nice little pink touch there.
All
Okay.
right.
Let's see how this... Some very nice pale purple or lavender from the blue cabbage, just after about 20 minutes. And I like leaving the vegetable material on them just for the additional color. But
Good, well, let's throw a few more in.
there we go.
I could use one down here in the... So have you explored at all the history of egg coloring and egg sharing? Are you familiar with this?
I know that it dates back to far before the artificial colors existed. I read a little bit about the gift giving of eggs to celebrate the spring in Egypt, I think. My dictionary at home says that Easter is connected to the goddess Eostra, who was the goddess of spring and light.
In the East?
In the East. And it also made reference to a connection to the Latin word aurora for dawn. And then later on celebrated by the Christians celebrating the resurrection of Christ. But it's been celebrated for quite some time. I think in my notes I had, it's long ago the people in Persia would give each other gift eggs to celebrate spring. And the custom was brought back to the United States by German immigrants, and who originally would use natural plant material like this.
I bet that the tradition of gathering the eggs came from when the birds ran free and the children were sent out with baskets to actually find the eggs. Don't you think that? So even today in modern America, we have ancient celebrations of fertility predating Christianity. And of course, the egg being the perfect symbol of new life fertility and abundance. Rabbits also are associated with fertility and were sacred to the goddess Aostra because of their tremendous ability to reproduce.
Wow. That makes sense. I hadn't even thought of the rabbit connection until now.
Easter rabbit, a white rabbit. The goddess Aostra was sometimes reputed to take the form of a white rabbit. And in fact, egg exchanging was popular in Roman times right up until really Christianity took over as the dominant religion in Western Europe. And at that time, the Christian church at first was concerned and prohibited the exchange of eggs, more as an expression of good luck or a friendship, but then realized it was such a popular and widespread custom that they instead looked for a new meaning. And the new meaning when Christians exchanged or colored eggs was to wish you well in your spiritual progress. And St. Augustine was the saint that decreed that the egg should represent the resurrection of Christ at Easter. So there's great traditions from various cultures.
Mm-hmm. And a lot that you can learn just by initially experimenting with it and then researching it. It's great to learn that.
Now, so here I have the grape juice. I'm about ready to bring this grape juice out. What do you think?
I think this is a great selection of colors. This is a finer variety of color than I've even seen from artificially dyed eggs.
Let's have another turmeric out here.
Okay.
Let's wipe the next turmeric and see if we can see it more of a... Well, I wish I had spread my cloth more.
Here, I can wipe it on this.
Let me see here. This definitely is a sacrifice for your fabrics materials.
This is a lot of fun making a mess.
So I'm afraid to touch. My fingers are pink. Let's see. If we were to. So this is in the material when I reference to wiping the dust. This is what I mean here, so that one can remove the powdered turmeric and not have the material on it. That one's beautiful. That one came out great. So the turmeric is absolute quick and successful. Oh, my pink fingers. What can I do with them? I better let you handle them.
Mine are nice and yellow from the turmeric last night. And I think we can display them in a basket now.
Okay.
Well, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your department's enthusiasm, and certainly part of what we're about at New Pioneer is looking for more natural ways, and this fits in well. So we would encourage people to pay us a visit. These natural dye materials are readily available at a variety of shops, and the flyers are available at New Pioneer CoOp. Thank you, Jen.
Sure, thank you.
For sharing your eggs and your expertise. And so certainly we'll look forward to seeing more eggs as the season turns, as we look forward to spring.
Definitely.
Great. Well, I'd like to thank Jan for joining me. This is Teresa Carberry. Our show today for New Pioneer Presents has been Color Eggs Naturally. Thank you for joining me.